How are you? How's it going? Thanks for coming. So where do I even begin really about why I'm starting a YouTube channel? It's kind of weird, kind of crazy, so it's gonna be kind of long. Let's get into it. Alright, so this YouTube channel is kind of about me and kind of helping you guys better understand healthcare systems in like Manitoba, like our province, the country, the states as well, the difference between private and public healthcare. Another part of these videos will be mental health. Of course, everyone deals with it. I deal with it. Alright, so you're probably wondering why I'm starting this now. I've been dealing with health issues for a long time, and I've kind of gotten to the point where I am fed up with our healthcare system, and I'm wondering, hoping somehow with this experience that I'm going through, and I put it on the internet, someone else can see, oh, I'm not the only one that's being affected by this. I'm not the only one in pain that no one knows why. Those kinds of things. So it started when I was about like 16. Started having problems with my hands, like I couldn't really do much. They would swell at random times. Yes, I was probably dehydrated a lot of the time. Yeah, I don't like water. Water is disgusting. That's a whole other thing. But yes, they would swell up at random times. One day, it got really bad where my left hand just kind of closed for probably about a good 3 to 5 days. So before that all happened, I told my doctor that my hands were swelling up at random times, and she told me that I have tendinitis. Alright, so if you don't know what tendinitis is, it is when your tendons start to swell up and rub against each other. Makes sense. So my hands started to swell up, it got red, and it closed. I made an appointment with my doctor the soonest I could, and it turned out I had carpal tunnel in both hands. Weird, right? Alright, so most of you probably know what carpal tunnel is, and for those of you who don't, that's okay. I didn't know either. I'll explain it. It starts with pain, numbing, and tingliness in your hands, and the nerve is squeezed and compressed. That's supposed to send to your wrist, and it can't. So that's what I have going on, and that started at 16. I still have it. I still get the numbness, the tingliness, the pain. Sucks. I sleepless splints sometimes, not all the time lately. But that's what you're supposed to do to help not make it worse, which makes sense. Alright, so most of you do know, but I've been experiencing hip pain for a very long time. It does come and go. I'm probably good for about like a 6-month span where I don't have any pain, and then it'll come back full force. It sucks. Like, I don't exactly know how to explain it, but it's kind of like my hip just gives out. Like, maybe it's not even in place anymore at this point. It's sharp, it's numb, it's tingling, it's terrible is what it is. And I've been experiencing it since I was about 16. My doctor again said it was tendinitis. At this point, I'd stopped going. I like stopped listening to doctors. I'm like, how can tendinitis just be everywhere? Doesn't exactly make sense. So with these videos, there's probably going to be one about tendinitis to help better explain it. But yeah, it's weird that I would have it in my hands and then it turns into carpal tunnel and then, you know, in my legs, and then who knows what that would turn into. Like, I've kind of just given up with it, to be honest. Yes, so my hip pain gets very bad. Sitting, standing, laying down, doing anything, it just hurts and irritates it. Yes, so it hasn't gotten so bad where I can't walk, but unfortunately in December, I took a turn and I could not walk. It started slowly, gradually. There was a Monday I was supposed to go to work. I called in because I was stuck in my bathtub. I could not get out. It was embarrassing. I somehow got out half an hour later by myself. It was a shit show. Sorry for my language. Tuesday, I said, screw it, I'll just go to work. I need money. I went to work. I walked like an old lady. That is the running joke with my family and friends, that I am an 80-year-old woman in a 20-year-old's body. So I got through Tuesday. Not great, but I did it. Wednesday, I was slowly getting worse. After work, I went to the hospital to see what was going on with me. I waited for about 5 hours, which is pretty good. Pretty good. Not great, but 5 hours nonetheless. To get the doctors to tell me that there is nothing they can do for me. They just prescribed me with muscle relaxers, and the doctor recommended I take 2 to 3 days, 3 to 4 days off of work because the drugs actually make you very drowsy. I do not recommend them. It was awful. But yeah, so after waiting 5 hours, the doctors did nothing for me except give me drugs and say go home. So I was so frustrated. I don't go to the hospital or doctors for that reason. Just for them to, like, they did their like physical check and whatever, and they still couldn't figure out what was wrong with me either. Which is very frustrating, to go to people who go to school to figure out what is wrong with people. It's their job. I don't understand. But yeah, so Thursday I only worked half a day. I just couldn't sit or walk or do anything. My grandparents gave me a walker. I was a 22-year-old with a walker. I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed. So I started taking these drugs that the useless doctors prescribed. They knocked me out so much. I took one. I think I was up for about an hour. My boyfriend had his friend over and I was just on the couch because I couldn't move. I passed out with people over at my house. Like, I just couldn't keep my eyes open. I probably slept for about like 3 to 4 hours before they wore off and I could feel all the pain. Friday, I could not get out of bed. I could not get dressed. I couldn't put socks on. I could do nothing. It was embarrassing. And I had to rely on someone else to help me get dressed. And to help me get dressed, to help me get out of bed, to help just to walk, really. Even though I had a walker, like it was still not close to me while I was in bed, obviously. But it sucked. I don't like relying on people for even like the littlest things, but the ability to not get dressed really bothers me. It's a simple task, and I couldn't complete that. Thankfully, my boyfriend took me to the doctors and stayed home with me. No one really knows what happened or why it happened. I have theories, or not medical theories. I think because I was compensating for my right leg, my left leg kind of just gave out as well. Everything was just swollen, everything hurt. Yeah, just kind of terrified it'll happen again. And some days I think it will when I get really bad. Like my pain just is so unmanageable. Yeah. It does really affect it affects a lot of things. Not even just my hip. Like my hands, my back hurts. And no one knows why for that one either. It's a constant struggle. Not knowing why I'm in pain. Constantly having to take painkillers just to dull my pain, to make it an ache. It does affect my mental health a lot as well. But we're managing. Wow. I didn't think talking about this would be so hard. And when I tell people I don't know what is wrong with me, I really don't know. Like, it's hard to explain why I'm in pain because I don't even know. Doctors don't even know. Like, I think I have given up and they have given up as well. Yeah, so this is what's happening. So some videos will probably be about me, and most of them are going to be about me, and I'm going to try and include private and public health care, the States versus Canada. I'll compare probably provinces or states together that are more similar as well. I hope you guys are excited about this as I am. Yeah, this is gonna be a crazy ride, but I'm excited for it all. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button. Thanks, guys.